guys, and welcome to another episode of Neffit. I'd like to welcome everybody back with my co-host Freddie.
Hey guys.
And today's special guest we have today with us is Mr. Jaxson Green.
What's up?
Mr. Jaxson Green, I've known him for a good while. Since he was pretty much small, I got to meet him based out of his dad first. I got to meet his dad. His dad's an amazing guy, Mr. Green out there. You're up next. We're looking for you. We're looking for you. So Mr. Green, we got to meet Mr. Green at Whitney's here in Bryan College Station, home of Aggie Land.
Yep.
So we got to meet Mr. Jaxson like that. He's never met my co-host, so today they're meeting for the first time, which is pretty awesome because they get to bounce back a lot of things that they have in common, which they don't know that they have in common yet, but we'll get to that soon.
Yep.
So we'll kick things off with welcoming Mr. Green out here.
What's up, guys? I'm Jaxson Green. I was born here, College Station. Been here ever since. I went to A&M Consolidated High School, and then now I'm a freshman at Texas A&M studying construction science.
Awesome. Construction science. That's a pretty big program out here, I believe, right?
It is. It's one of the best in the nation.
Do you know how many students are out here for that specific program?
I'd say there's at least like 1,200.
1,200
in the program.
Jeez. That's a lot. That's a lot. 1,200 students. All right, so we like to kick off with that. You already mentioned. I mentioned a little bit of your family. Your dad. I got to meet him firsthand, one-on-one. Your mom, don't really get to meet her. I do know that your sister's a dancer, which is pretty cool. We get invited a lot to her ballet recitals and stuff like that, which is awesome. We appreciate that from all our locals. Another thing is school. What kind of school? Well, you started off here in Bryan College Station?
Yes, sir, did. I went to, let's see, so I went to College Station Middle School, but then we had a new middle school built just recently. So I was one of the first 8th graders at Welborn Middle School.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it was a brand new school. Everything was fresh.
College Station.
Yep. Right down, we're off of Greens Prairie, that area.
Awesome.
Yeah.
College Station's growing a lot. They're building a lot of schools out here.
Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say, Jaxson, I kind of want to get to know you, your story. So like, what's your background? Where do you come from? I know you said you're in College Station. Have you always been in College Station? Where's your family from? Kind of, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little bit on how you're.
So, I wasn't really born in College Station, but I've been here since I was 2 years old. So I'd consider myself a local.
Yeah.
My mom's from Waller. She grew up. My granddad was a welder. And then her mom was a nurse, and then my dad grew up up there. You know where Floydada is?
I actually don't. Is it close to Dallas, or?
It's northeast of Lubbock.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So very small.
That's up there then.
Yeah.
It's far.
That's far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad, he grew up on a cotton farm.
Oh,
did
that's
that,
awesome.
and then he went to Tech, and then so my dad went to Tech, my mom went to Tech, but they never met in college. They met at a hospital in Dallas. Because they were both
awesome.
in the medic industry.
Medical fields. Yeah. That's great.
But,
so they met there, and then they eventually made their way back to A&M. So you're the first Ag?
A&M?
Oh,
Yes,
that's
sir.
the first generation Ag right here.
How did that happen? Like, how did what's the transition? Why College Station?
I think it was like there was so my dad does anesthesia, so it was just like kind of a job offer here. So, and then just been here ever since.
You liking it?
I like it.
Yeah,
I mean, I got
it's
nowhere
growing.
else to
I'm sure
go.
you've seen it grow since
Oh, yeah,
you were 2
definitely.
all the way to now.
Definitely.
You're a freshman in college.
Right now, yes, sir. I'm a TAMU 27.
Awesome, 27. So starting off with your career choice, how did you end up in that career? How did you focus on construction science and not engineering or anything else? Like, what brought you to construction science?
So I remember like my freshman year of high school, I wanted to do engineering because I wanted to build stuff, right? I liked the Legos. I liked, looking at the big buildings and seeing, wow.
That was
like,
one of my things
that.
growing up. My mom got mad at me so much because she would buy me a new toy, and there I am taking it apart, trying to put it back together, and then it was hard to put it back together.
Sure was. But like I just remember looking at all the big buildings, and like another thing too is like I loved Bob the Builder. When I was a little kid. So I like the building and all that sort of stuff.
Hey, you're matching him right now. The shirt, the cap. He just needed the chain. Nah.
But yeah, definitely just like looking at the buildings, and then so I first wanted to do engineering because I wanted to build stuff, but then I learned engineering's more of the design part of it compared to construction science, where it's more of the like business management side of it.
How did you find that difference, or how did how did you kind of navigate through that? Because I feel like a lot of people find out pretty late. Because I have friends that were in construction science. They met a professor, Leslie Feigenbaum. They went off to Europe, like in the summer. Kind of took them out there, a few students, and then that's when he kind of started explaining like the careers. But by that time, he was like a junior, senior.
Wow.
So like for you to discover that early on, how did you find that difference or see that? Yeah.
I think it was like, well, I just knew engineering, like looking into like different degrees and stuff and talking to people that have done engineering, I figured that it was just more like sitting behind a computer doing design work on like all the AutoCADs and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, that's not really me. I don't.
It'll be more hands-on.
Yeah, I like being out there in the
work.
field and watching it do physically instead of just behind a computer.
You want to see it from the ground up.
Yeah,
from the ground
pretty
up.
much. Yeah.
That's awesome. And as far as that, did you have mentors or someone that inspired you or gave you the knowledge that, okay, maybe you should look more into this and that, or?
I would say my dad, because my dad, he talks to a lot of people. And so like one of our, I forgot what kind of doctor, but one of the doctors he's worked with, his son did construction science at A&M.
Gotcha.
And so when he graduated from A&M, he went out in the oil field and built pads, the pads so then they can come in with the big derricks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now he owns his own residential building construction
That's
company.
awesome.
Was there ever any pressure from your parents since they were in the medical field? Like, did they want you to be in the medical field?
Not really, no. They just, they just wanted me to go to college for something at least. So
Nice. How did you find your passion in construction science?
I've never really like explored outside of construction, but like just being inside construction, there's so many things that you could do. Like, you could, if you really wanted to, you could do the business side, accounting side of it, or you can do the design, writing plans up sort of stuff, or you can do the actual like superintendent, which is you're out there on the field making sure, your concrete trucks come in on time and managing people. Like that with construction, there's so many things out there that you could do.
I'm laughing because I'm part of the aftermath. After it sells, after everything, I'm the one that manages it. So that's why it's kind of funny because I've seen stuff, just a piece of land, having to go through, okay, is it in the flood zone? What's the zoning? And kind of starting from there, going through the city. Like, now I don't have to deal with any of that. I just have to deal once the tenants are in.
Done.
Hey, just manage the property.
Make sure it doesn't burn down.
Yeah.
Your sign?
Right?
Did he ever tell you about that? No. He had a fire?
We had a fire out here, and my sign in the front caught on fire, so I raced the fire trucks out here with my truck too, so to beat them out here. And
I think
crazy.
I got a video
It was
of that.
crazy.
Fire coming out.
Is that why your sign was down for a while?
That's why it's down. And I was like, screw it, I ain't putting it back up.
Well, I mean, it's up there now.
It's up there, actually. Yeah, that was the very first one, the OG sign.
Really?
Caught on fire in the front, so, oh man, that was a scary time. I had just gone home too. I was barely leaving for the day, and then the neighbor calls me. She goes, "Hey, your front store is on fire." What? So there I go, hauling butt all the way over here, calling Freddie. Hey, Freddie, I think the shop's on fire. He's like, "Call the fire department." Why are you calling me? And I'm like, "What? They're already on their way. What are you talking about?"
Yeah. So now being in college, are you just dedicated to college? Are you working? Like, what's kind of your day to day?
So it's like, I'm at the point now in the construction in the company I'm at where I can kind of like, not necessarily work when I want to, but my hours are more open. So I do more office work now. So it's just like I get to work, I sit behind a computer, do some stuff for like 3 hours and then go back to class.
How did you get started there? Like in the construction company that you're in?
So I work it's a big Texas company, Vaughn Construction. I'm sure y'all have heard of them.
Yeah, definitely.
So my junior year in high school, my dad works, so one of the project managers that works for Vaughn Construction, his wife works with my dad.
Wow. Oh, this is a big network, man.
Yeah.
It's a big networking.
That's all it is. Yeah.
So
networking.
through her, I was able to get his email, and then I emailed him one day, just like, hey, I'm interested in construction. What could I do? Telling him what I like to do, what I can do, sort of thing.
That's awesome, man.
And then he told me that Vaughn, they have a special program for high schoolers. So you go out.
School. Wow. Yeah.
That's
So during
great.
your
That's
junior
different.
year.
Yeah, that's way different.
Yeah. So like during your junior and senior summer, you can go out there and kind of observe.
Okay. Like out in the field, right? And like not office, like out in the field.
Mostly field, right?
Wow, that's
So
So
hands-on experience.
yeah,
That's great.
and then through that, I was just able to work, and so I did. I remember my second day at Vaughn. They had me going out to a concrete pour at 3 a.m. It was second day working there.
I remember that.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know this. Why did they do it at 3 a.m?
So during the summer with concrete, it's
Curing process.
yeah. So concrete mixes with water, and water evaporates when it gets real hot. So they don't want the concrete to settle real quick, because if it settles real quick, it just causes problems in the future.
Breakage and all that.
So like if you do it at like 3 a.m, it's cooler, it's darker. It gives the concrete time to cure instead of rushing.
Did you know that then, or did you learn that?
I learned it right that night. Why?
That night you had to be here at 3 a.m.
I was like, man.
Question it, or you just went, or?
I mean, I was, it's my second day at a company. I wanted, make sure I did.
So you got there early. You got there at 2:30.
Yep.
Because I would have done the same thing, no lie. If it's my first time at a job site, I make sure I'm there early to make sure we have enough time to get anything out of the way.
Right.
So that's awesome, man. That's a good mindset to have, and the dedication to be there at 2:30. And you were junior year, right, of high school?
Yeah, it was literally my first week of summer vacation. I was out.
Wow. And
It was on
high
a
school.
it was on a Friday night too.
That's crazy.
So
Saturday you retired
yeah,
because
pretty
concrete
much.
is a heavy job.
It is.
If you've
I
never
mean,
done
you've done
concrete,
it, right?
yeah, I've done concrete with my dad so much. That was pretty much waking up and going to throw concrete, like you said. You have to be out there super early, make sure all your framework's done, make sure everything's leveled, make sure all that's done before you even get there, because concrete work is a whole nother level.
And it's like once you go, you can't stop either.
Nope.
And it costs a lot of money if
And
you
it's
want
a
to
time
redo
thing.
it.
If you take too long, that's it. Your concrete's trash after that.
Yeah. It's like I think it's like what is it, like an hour and a half until it cures?
Yeah,
so you have that time to get it going.
And you got to keep in mind, if you're throwing, depending the lot size that you're throwing, you
Yeah.
got an hour and a half for the whole lot. So by the time you're done pouring on one side, you have to start fixing and finishing the whole other side.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you get to learn that at a young age, and it's awesome that Vaughn has the opportunities for high school, right? High school,
Right.
junior to senior years to volunteer and do a lot of work like that and get the hands-on experience, which I feel that was a big up for you because you got to learn a little bit of the backgrounds of, okay, I don't like the computer or this part of it. I want to
Yeah.
be more hands-on, and that's where I feel like it kind of geared your path into what you wanted to study.
Right. And then like the construction science program, I didn't even learn about it until like later my junior year. And that's when I decided like, oh, I kind of want to do the construction. And then that's when I got the construction job. And now I'm in it and I like it.
That's
so
awesome, man.
So you've been with Vaughn Construction since your junior year of high school. So junior, senior.
So 2 years, almost
Freshman.
2 years.
Yeah, going on 3, yeah. So my question to you would be is like, did you have to sacrifice some of your summers? Like how did you get that balance? Because, everybody wants to be a kid.
That's funny. So my junior summer, I would go out. So we'd had 10-hour days. So it was from 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Right after 4:30.
That's crazy.
As a high school student,
As a high
like
schooler.
back then,
Yeah. Man, I remember I would go, like as soon as I got out, I would go straight home, take a nap, probably an hour nap. And then I'd go out with my friends till probably 10, 11 at night. And then wake up at 5 the next morning and continue on with the day.
No, that's awesome.
So you had to kind of balance a little bit of both.
I did.
Did you ever have to kind of not sacrifice, but did you have to go to work one day and then everybody went to the pool or hang out? Like, did you ever have to miss out?
I did some days. Like during the summers, our project, we were like going and going. So we'd work Saturdays too. So like that means like Friday nights, I wouldn't be able to like go out.
Have a good time?
Yeah.
Is there anything that people that are older might have a misunderstanding of you? Like, because you're so young.
It's a lot of older people out there now. Like they're from 30 to 60 out there. So like you have a young 18-year-old coming out there and they're like, the 18-year-old's telling you what to do. Like imagine if you're a 40-year-old, you don't want to listen to an 18-year-old thinking he knows everything.
And how about language barriers?
Oh, that's a big thing too.
Did you learn Spanish? Because you got to know,
Yeah.
Construction, hey, 70% Spanish speaking. At
Yeah.
least 70%.
I was gonna go up higher.
I wanted to go higher too, but I don't want people to fact check me on
All right,
Facebook.
Yeah.
we'll do
So-
70%.
So we'll do 70 to be on the safe side, but you definitely need to know Spanish if you're in
Yeah,
construction.
you did. So like one of the things I didn't really learn Spanish, but when they would start talking in Spanish, I could kind of like understand what they mean.
Pick it up, yeah.
Yeah. So like you could understand what they're saying, but you can't speak it to them.
Yeah.
So like you can tell by like how they're talking, what they're talking about, sort of thing.
Do you know some words or a little bit of
Not
Spanish?
really.
Not really. Not
He's
really.
like, andale,
Hurry up, hurry up.
and vámonos.
Vamonos. I mean,
Yeah.
let's get it. Let's get it.
Because we kind of relate to that because, you know, in my line of work, I'm in a director position, but I'm the youngest director.
Right.
So it's kind of, only one person, two people actually in my department are younger than me. Everybody else is older than me. So it's kind of like, how do I pay attention or listen to somebody that's half my age or 10, 15 years younger than me? Well, maybe because I'm doing things differently than what they did, you know? And I think, I know you said in the very beginning, like, there might be some similarities because I don't know Jaxson, so it's kind of great hearing your story because I remember being younger, having that information that older people didn't know. And it was kind of like sometimes I would hold back because out of respect, they were older, but then it came to a point where I was kind of like, screw it, I'm gonna tell you how it is because you're not doing it right. And I don't know if you had to go through that.
Right. Well, that's the biggest thing with Vaughn too. Is like everyone there has respect for each other.
Nice.
So like I'm going through college, and so
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, you're learning.
That says a lot from
So-
a company too, man. A lot
Yeah.
from a company.
So like I could be 18 years old, but I'm still doing the stuff that, you know, like the 30, 40-year-olds are doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, they respect that. You know, they're not like, oh, no, you're just an 18-year-old. You can't do, like, they're like, okay, yeah. So like they're a big listening company.
Wow.
It's like I could raise my hand, ask a question. They'll be like, yeah, this is what so-and-so, you know.
That's really good.
And they're willing to explain.
Yeah.
That's
the
big
biggest
I
thing.
feel like
Yeah, because I would get shut down or like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then I'm like what's the point?
you're like, well, explain it to me then,
Yeah.
and they don't want to explain. That's a
Yeah.
big one.
It's like, you should know. And I'm like, well, I've never done this before.
But
And
like
the cool thing now is that since you've actually been doing it and you've seen it from the ground up, you pretty much know what's next, what's to follow. You already know how to read
Right.
plans. You know how to pretty much do all the main work.
Right. Which that's the craziest thing too about construction is like all these, you know, 30, 40-year-olds, they're still learning too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Oh, yeah.
the construction industry, it's constantly changing and you're not going to survive if you don't learn.
If you don't adapt, yeah, you have to adapt. And the crazy part is you adapting at a young age already sets you up for a higher success than others, for
Right.
sure.
Do you think that changed your mentality? Or do you ever have problems kind of fitting in with the younger crowd? And sometimes you may fit in with the older crowd? Like,
Yeah, that's definitely one thing too. But I think I'm able to balance it pretty well. You know, like the older guys, I'm not able to like relate to them a lot with like, you know, they're out there going.
Their problems and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool that you get to separate both because I feel like, at least me growing up, since I was always like, we got to work.
Yeah.
My mentality has always been like, no, I don't got time for games. Like, I don't got time for video games. I don't really have
Yeah.
time to be out there. I need to get to the next level. You know what I mean?
Right.
And since my mentality was pretty much like that, I feel like I should have taken a step back to have a little bit more fun. But honestly, seeing where my sisters came from, that they had to work even harder than I did to get where they were, I feel like I'm kind of satisfied and happy with what I got. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, I do wish I could have had more time with having fun and all that, but I feel like the work ethic to get you to where you need to be is definitely going to get you there a lot quicker if you attack it faster.
are you the youngest, oldest? Like, how many siblings do you have?
I'm the oldest. My sister, she's an seventh grader in middle school. But it's funny about her. She's a ballerina,
Yeah.
and she got accepted to like a big academy in London.
No way.
That's crazy.
So-
Well, that's top notch.
So it's a 2-week course out there in London.
You have to have some really good parents. Like, to kind of like, not just push you guys, but the mentality is different. Like, what is it that makes you want more? Because some people get complacent.
It's just like there's multiple things with that. The whole hanging out with older people.
Yeah.
You know, they're buying boats, they're buying cars, they're buying houses. You know, it's like I want that. You know, I want to fit in. So like I'm just trying to work hard, get as ahead as I can. You know, like my parents would talk about their struggles when they were growing up, and you know they had to work hard to get to where they're at. And so I feel like I could do better. They were able to give me that opportunity that they didn't have, so I should be better than what they can.
Better off. Yeah.
You see, I think that's a big part of why I started the podcast, because just hearing you right now, your parents talk to you about the struggles that they've had and everything that they've gone through.
Yeah.
I feel like in the Hispanic culture, you kind of just bottle it up yourself because you don't really talk about stuff like that, because
You don't talk to your parents.
you don't talk to your parents about anything like that. You just see it, but you don't communicate. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like them communicating with you made you understand and had your mindset already spinning and taking in knowledge different than other people, if you get what I mean.
Right. And then I like what you said earlier when I was like, well, did you get the pressure from your parents, to be in the medical field? You're like, no, they just wanted me to succeed. That's amazing, because I know there's a lot of people that kind of get the pressure, or their parents try to live through their kids, but I just feel like I want to meet your parents, because they just feel like they're very supportive, very caring, very loving.
Mr. Green.
Well, I heard Cars. Before the podcast, I heard Cars, and I was like, man, I grew up fixing cars. Like,
if you don't come to us, we're just gonna have to go to the garage and shoot it there. That's what we're gonna have to do. Jackson's gonna have to break us into the house.
He's like, he didn't let us in. The door was open.
The door was open.
Yeah.
No, but that's really good to hear, because like my parents, they were great parents, but I wanted to get as far away as possible, because I didn't want to live the way my parents brought me up. I wanted to be better. Right. But I don't know what your mindset is about, okay, my future. Like, what do you want to do?
Right. Definitely my biggest one is graduating college.
Do you want to graduate early, or?
I'm just trying to graduate as quick as I can. So like I'll be taking summer classes. During high school, I did dual credit.
Yep.
So like my government, my econ, and then my English, I did
All the basics, yeah.
So it counted for my college credit, but also my high school credit, so I can still graduate high school as well.
That's awesome. That's kind of like what you did.
Yeah. So I did dual credit. I wanted to be an engineer. Now I'm in real estate. But there's a whole story to that they'll probably hear. But yeah, so because I know like some of my buddies, they graduated in 3 years because they wanted to get out there in the work field. Are you planning on staying with Vaughn Construction, or what's the plan there?
For a while, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a great company. I have no reason to leave, but kind of in the back of my mind, the grass is always greener on the other side. I still kind of want to explore.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
you're young. You're young.
I'm a freshman in college. I still have that opportunity, so why not?
Take it,
But like there was one company, because I went to career fair to just talk to other companies. There was another company, Cotton Construction.
Yep, in Houston?
Yeah, so they do
I know people there.
the disaster company.
Disaster recovery, insurance.
Yeah, but like they seem like a cool company, like just being on call and like, hey, there's a fire at this building, we need to go and, redo the drywall and all that. That sounds cool to me.
Yeah, we had stories where we had damage on roofs, roof leaks, and you're talking about 10, 15, 20-year-old roofs, and there's insurance on it. And you walk in and it's like raining.
Wow.
You're on the 3rd floor and the drywall's wet. It's a 4-story building and every floor is wet. So it's like, what do you do? So definitely. We kind of had to deal with that. No, but that's pretty cool. Is there any place in Texas or in the world that you would want to visit or move to, or you kind of like where you're at?
Kind of like where I'm at. I mean, College Station's a small but big town. So like, you still have that kind of small town feeling.
Oh, yeah.
But they're constantly growing, so we're getting new stuff like the Top Golf that was just built a little while ago.
We're getting big shots, but Top Golf bought them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you worked on any projects like that?
No, I've only been on 2 projects really. So
that's crazy though.
Yeah.
As a junior in high school, what?
Well, like think about it. Like, there's people in their 30s that are barely doing that.
Those are like multi-million-dollar projects, man.
Yeah.
Multi-million. That's crazy.
What 2 projects have you been on?
So the first one, it was called IPG. It's at Rellis. Do you know the Rellis campus at A&M? So it's a big like an Army vehicle testing facility. So it's like they have all these bumps and all these inclines and all these hills. And it's like, it was a cool project because it was all just either dirt work or concrete. Like there was really no building to it.
Yeah.
But like the concrete work that they did do, it was like.
Was that your 3 in the morning?
Yep.
No, 3 in the morning show up.
That's funny because the 3 in the morning project we were on, it was a waves. So it's these concrete things that are like, they go like this, like it, like
it makes
little
different
waves.
terrain.
So when you're going on a vehicle, it does the whole little.
Lopsiding.
Yeah.
On concrete?
On concrete.
Yeah.
What the?
So like when you're doing your vehicles, you
So
can
when you're
see
driving
their.
through it, you see the suspension, how it drives.
But how do you pour that? Like, is
It forms, I'm sure.
So
Forms, or
from what I
hang.
could tell, yeah. So what I could tell from that is like they did a lot of the dirt work before, trying to get the dirt work smooth, and then with the forms they had to do modifications to the forms. What's cool about that too is that they didn't use rebar. So inside the concrete, they put these fiberglass hairs inside the concrete for that support.
I've noticed that a lot of colder areas, they use a lot of fiber and a whole bunch of there's a whole bunch of stuff you could put
Like
in concrete
admixtures.
now, and that makes it just, it won't bend, it won't move, it won't crack. It's crazy. Concrete's on a whole nother level now.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. And you could even speed up the dry time, you could speed up, it's crazy how concrete has evolved.
What would you say, working and doing that? Because I know we've been talking about concrete. Do you feel like you're an expert in concrete?
No.
Not expert, but like, as far as like everything you've learned, where do you feel more comfortable in? Like in the construction?
I would say I know the basics. So I mean, I'd be pretty confident if they give me plans and be like, hey, I want this slab, build it. And I could do that. I could do everything up to the finishing part. But like when it comes to like the actual, like there's a science when it comes to concrete. Like there's so much, just in the ratios of the cement and your sand and your water gets crazy. Like if you have too much water or too much sand, it could really alter the concrete.
And then you go into stains and dyes. And
Yeah, that's when it really.
it goes crazy.
Epoxy floors on top, no kidding.
That's what they want. That's what they want.
No, that's pretty cool.
No, but it's crazy seeing you at a young age and all the knowledge you have already. And for you probably like, oh no, I don't really know too much. But at your age, you know quite a bit, man.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 things you don't like? You know what I mean?
Well, one of the things I don't like about construction is it's an early job.
Yeah.
Like I like staying out late at night and doing stuff, but I don't like waking up at 5 in the morning.
He's a night owl, not an early bird. You still do it though.
Yeah, definitely do. But that's funny because like I remember it was last summer in June when they had midget wrestling at Shiner Park.
Midget wrestling.
Midget wrestling? Mark, were you out there? It's one of my coworkers.
But it was like
he was out there.
He manages this building.
But I remember it was on a Thursday night. I had just gotten home at like 5, and my buddies were like, let's go. So we were out there till probably 1 in the morning, and then...
Like you get to wrestle midgets? Or?
No, it's just like a show. Like you ever see...
They wrestle each other, Freddie.
I thought you were wrestling midgets. I was like, why would you want to wrestle?
How much is that? Just take out your ass.
No disrespect. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get home till like 1:30, and then had to wake up at 4 to go.
Go throw some more concrete.
Yeah, that was a rough day, but definitely I would say the risk of it's your high school summer, right? Yeah. You're supposed to be out there and having fun because like it's your last summer, but
It's crazy people have that mentality because I feel like a lot of people in college start having that mentality where it's like, oh, now I can go have fun and stuff. It's like, nah, now it's time to hone down into your craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I would say it would be, I didn't have as much fun that summer as I could have, but it sets me up so much better for my future because now I already have 2 years of experience with hopefully a college degree later on, then it'll set me up for pretty good later on.
Do you want to keep doing school, or do you think you're done with your bachelor's?
I'd say I want to keep going. Okay. That's the thing with A&M. It's like that Aggie ring, it gets you everywhere and anywhere.
I never got it, but I'll get it one day.
Yeah, but like that A&M, that Aggie ring, I've heard from so many people, it opens so many doors.
It's the Aggie Network. People don't understand, like, there's a spirit that can never be told. Like, people don't get it. So I had 3 internships, and really good internships. And I went and sold books. Doing that, we had to find our own place to live. They didn't provide it. So that was like your first knocking on a door.
Wow.
And figuring it out. And one of the guys that, you know, he was kind of like the leader of our little group. He's like, oh, I'll just hop on the Aggie Network and see what Aggies are around in Mississippi, and we'll see if they'll be cool with us staying at their place or if they have something in the area. So from there, it led to other people being able to stay in areas. We still had to knock on doors. And we found a lake house. We literally stayed like in somebody's guest lake house for the summer. And yeah, and we paid $10-20 a week. And I was like,
That's not bad.
yeah. So it's just, that's what I mean. Like, it's just like,
It's like I never went to college at all, and I wasn't never.
and that's like, I'm a 2%er.
Pretty much, I'm a 2%er. Yeah, that network, and as soon as you're a part of them, that's it. You're a part of their niche, and once they got a hold of you, kind of like my salon here, it made a big name in the Aggie Network, which I'm very blessed for the Aggie Network, and they keep me here, and I mean,
Well,
it's awesome.
like, so how did you guys meet? Because you were at a different salon before, right?
Yeah.
And then, so what made you want to keep coming back? Was it the purple hair?
His dad's like, nope, you're going there.
Oh, it's just like Neff's, you're just such a cool person, you know? It's not like you're going to like sports clips where they're just cutting your hair just to cut hair, you know?
And then you go another time, somebody else is there.
Yeah, if you go to,
And since he's been with me 7 years, he's seen me in a small cubicle into a bigger room, into my whole establishment.
So, like,
it's pretty
progressed.
crazy. He's seen my process from since I moved here to now, pretty much.
Has he ever messed up your hair or anything like that?
I don't think so.
No.
There you go.
Not
7 years.
7 years. And that's because his hair's pretty complicated. He's had so many hair
Yeah.
transformations.
Yeah.
He's had the Patrick Swayze. He's
Had the mullet.
He's had the clean cut. He's had a nice, taper fade. He's
Yep.
even had the bald fades. He's had
Everything.
all types of hairstyles. And he has a lot of hair to work with.
Yeah.
But no, did your parents ever cut your hair before?
I think my mom did in like 5th grade, but
No?
that was it.
And what do you remember your worst haircuts? Or has anybody ever cut you while you were getting a haircut?
Remember at Sports Clips, they had the razor, or not the razor, the
guards?
Yeah, clipper one. They did that and then nicked the top of my ear and it started bleeding.
Oh, man.
But like she just kept on going. I was like,
There was blood everywhere.
It's like it's sweat.
It's sweat. Don't worry about it.
yeah, no.
That's crazy. So 7 years with Jaxson, getting his haircut, seeing him grow since he was small.
Hey, but it never messing up. That's awesome.
Yeah, because for Eddie, he was my guinea pig, so he's had a lot of...
So when Neff started cutting your hair, he's like, hey, man, I need somebody to practice on. I was like, is it free? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, let's go. Yeah, but now I pay.
Yeah.
No, but it's awesome seeing the growth and seeing you from junior high pretty much. It's been a
It was,
long minute.
I think it was 7th grade.
7th grade, so
Yeah.
from 7th grade all the way to freshman.
That's the thing with where I work at now. They think I'm still in high school.
They still think you're a baby. What do you feel being the oldest in your family, man?
I feel like it's just hard because we have such an age gap. You know, most siblings are like, within 2 years, we're within like 6. So it's hard to like connect because, she's still learning too, like
No, I
at
feel
a
that
different
'cause
age.
Me and my sisters, we have a pretty huge age gap.
I only have sisters.
He only has sisters, I only have
I have
sisters.
3
so
sisters, yeah.
we relate on the sisters' behalf. He relates on the younger sisters. All my sisters are older than me, so.
Well, you're the youngest, right?
I'm the youngest.
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
And it's funny you say that you guys have a huge gap. Me and my sister, we have a 20-year gap from my oldest sister. And then from the one under her, we have a 19-year gap. And then I believe me and I call her baby sister because she's the youngest one out of all 3. I think we have like a 5 or 6 year gap, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And then I'm the baby, so.
Like me and my sister, we have a 5-year gap. So I have 3 sisters. It's a 5-year, a 6-year, and then our little sister Destiny, we have, oh my God, I'm trying to do the math over here, like a 16-year gap. So like people thought she was my kid, and I was like, I'm in high school. It's not my kid. Yeah.
But he's like, no, it wasn't me.
Like you saying that, like how you and your sister are like 6 years apart, I kind of felt that. Sometimes I felt like I could have been a better big brother, but when I came to be a freshman in college, my sister Griselda was a freshman in high school, so I was kind of never there to kind of be there for her like teenage or high school years. So I was never that like, oh, you can't date or you're not going to any parties. Like I kind of like had to come over here, be in college, and she was there with our other sister, Kimberly, and they kind of, I don't know, I'm watching y'all. You guys are little baddies.
Yeah. Growing up, it was different for me because all my sisters were way older. I feel like I had the more leniency of the house just because I was the last one there, right? And I grew up more with my younger sister. Right. With my older sisters, I saw them more like parents because they would always get mad at me. You go to school here and your family's here. Do you live with your family or do you have your own thing? Or
I live at a house with 2 other roommates, but both of them I went to high school with. So
nice.
It's not like I'm moving in with random people and having to make new friends. Which there's nothing wrong with that, of course, but it just makes you feel, as a freshman in college, it makes you feel more comfortable knowing who you're living with.
Definitely. And do you feel like you learn more about like budgeting and money management and all that? Because it's a big thing. I feel like not a lot of people prepare for that. Yeah, especially being in college.
I'd say I was pretty good with money. I was working a full-time job pretty much my junior summer. So from there, that's when I kind of learned to work money. So then after that, it kind of set me up for the future. Just working out there in the field. And then that's the thing too, working with older guys, older people, they tell you tips and tricks with that to save money and all that.
I'd say planning now for later.
Yeah.
And that's great, like you said, just surrounding yourself with older people, like getting their knowledge helps you in the long run for sure.
Definitely.
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to our NEFIT podcast. I'd like to thank my co-host Freddie for tuning in with us today. And we would like to close off with having Jaxson end up with his final thoughts.
I would definitely say enjoy high school. I feel like I grew up too fast almost to where I wasn't able to do a lot of what high schoolers did. So enjoy it while you are, but at the same time, try to get ahead as far as you can. Don't slack off, right? But yeah, I'd definitely like to thank my dad. He definitely helped me out a lot in life. I would like to thank the project manager I'm under. He's really taught me a lot too. He's kind of my guider. He tells me like, hey, do this class sort of thing. But I like to end off with one quote that I really liked. It's, you have 2 lives to live. The second one starts when you realize you only have one. So when you realize you only have one, that just makes you want to live life better than what you had before. But yeah, you did the right thing. Hopefully, I hope you become more successful than you are now. Just get out there and do it.